Thank you all for being here today. Today is Tuesday, and it's Mental Health Day in Davos. I would like to begin this panel with a quote from Rumi about healing. He's a Persian poet from the 13th century and also a spiritual leader. The wound is the place where the light enters you. Welcome to Healing Minds, Expanding Wisdom, where today we're going to explore the intersection of spirituality, research, and indigenous knowledge in today's global landscape, mental health challenges, ecological disruption, geopolitical uncertainty, and a growing loss of meaning are deeply interconnected forces shaping not only our external world, but our inner sanctum. In this context, we have convened here today a distinguished panel, which I would like to introduce. Venerable Drupal Tsering Rinpoche, the Tibetan Buddhist teacher, resident Lama at the Drukung Garchen Institute in Munich. Sorry, my German is not as good as it used to be. Dr. Lisa Miller, who is a professor and founder of the Spirituality Mind-Body Institute at Columbia University. She is also the New York Times bestselling author of The Spiritual Child and Awakened Brain. And then we have Nurali Aliyev, founder of Spark of Light, Awakened Mind Foundation, and Mental Health Ventures. And lastly, we have joining us all the way from the Brazilian Amazon. I think he took about 3 days to get here. By all modes of transportation necessary, Nishiwaka Yawanawa, Indigenous leader from the Brazilian Amazon. Thank you for joining us. To open the panel, I was wondering if the chief would like to ground us and ground the room.
Kanaro Shirite Kanaro Shirite Anjamba Kiwayo Anjaminjo yo yo Anja mijo yo yo wa mele wa mele wa mele wa mele kanaro kanaro shirinte Kanaro Shirite Anjamba Kiwayo Maton no ma Maton no ma no man. Whoosh.
You. Thank you. Thank you for that beautiful ikaro. I'm going to start with the chief, Nishiwaka. In the indigenous tradition, how is mental health and spiritual well-being understood in relation to the land, community, and ancestry?
Eu queria que você fosse perguntando assim, nas tradições indígenas, como que vocês entendem a saúde mental, a saúde em geral, em relação com a terra, com o território, com a comunidade, acho que tá começando a cura. É disso, pode ver, né? Sim.
Primeiro, quero dar bom dia a todos,
First of all, good morning, everyone.
bom dia, cumprimentar aqui nossa sala, na pessoa do nosso Rinpoche, nosso mestre aqui, o Lama,
And greetings to all the rooms, first in the person of our master Rinpoche as a Lama, with all respect.
Saúde mental, para nós, ela é tão, ela é um conjunto do mundo que nós vivemos hoje.
For us, talking about mental health is something difficult to grasp because for us, it all comes together. So it's a whole thing.
Por exemplo, nós não conhecemos essa doença.
For example, we don't know this kind of illness that you talk about
Porque a gente vive num ambiente integrado.
because we live in an integrated whole environment. But it is something that is whole and complete.
Porque no meio do nosso povo, quando nós tem alguém que está triste ou, como vocês falam, com depressão,
Because among our peoples, when somebody is sad or as you say with the depression, for example,
nós recorremos à floresta que tem planta,
we go to the forest where there's the plants,
ou esse espírito é dos animais,
or we find out that this is coming from the spirits of the animals,
ou vem do astro,
or maybe from the stars,
ou da terra,
or from the earth,
ou da água.
or from the water.
A gente sabe que vem desse mundo.
We know that the origin of this illness come from this world.
E a gente conhece as plantas
So we know the plants,
e a gente conhece os espíritos dela.
and we know the spirits of all of them.
Então a gente conversa com os espíritos,
So we talk with the spirits.
a gente conversa com as plantas
We talk with
e a gente cura.
plants, and we bring healing.
Então nós vivemos em harmonia.
So we live in harmony.
A saúde mental aqui no mundo ocidental,
And here in the Western world,
a tendência é só crescer.
it's like this with the mental health problems. Like the tendency is like just growing and growing.
Porque vocês estão destruindo toda a floresta,
Maybe because you are destroying all the forests,
está poluindo todos os rios,
polluting all the rivers,
as montanhas,
the mountains,
o ar,
the wind, the air,
a natureza.
and nature.
Ela está sufocada.
So nature itself is suffocating.
É da terra que nós comemos,
We eat from the earth.
da água que nós bebemos e banhamos,
We drink from the water and we bathe from the water.
o ar que nós respiramos.
We breathe.
Estão tudo sendo poluídos.
Everything is getting polluted.
Como é que nós vamos estar bem?
How are we supposed to be good and be well?
Então, a gente precisa fazer uma profunda reflexão
So it's important to make a deep reflection
para a nossa própria cura.
for our own
A cura do planeta
healing of the planet,
e a cura da humanidade.
the healing for the humanity.
Nós viemos aqui
So we came here
compartilhar nossas experiências,
to share our experiences
o nosso mundo sagrado,
about our sacred world,
a nossa conexão com o universo,
our connection with the universe,
com o Criador.
with the Creator.
Nós não somos apenas povos originários
We're not just originary nations,
que a gente cuida do nosso território.
let's being the stewards of our own territories only.
A gente tem uma profunda conexão
We have a deep connection
com o divino
with the divine,
e nós cuidamos disso.
and we take care of that.
Isso é manter toda a criação divina intacta,
And it's like it's keeping all the divine creation intact,
porque é lá que está a nossa ciência,
because there's where our science lives.
é lá que está nossos centros de pesquisa,
That's where our research centers are,
está lá nossos laboratórios,
our labs. It's in nature,
está lá nossas plantas.
our plants.
As medicinas são mapas espirituais.
So our medicines are spiritual maps.
Essas medicinas nos levam ao nosso entendimento com todo que existe
And
da
this,
natureza.
and these maps, these medicines bring us all the understanding about nature and about everything that exists.
Então é um universo muito grande nós falar de doenças, como é que é?
Não dá.
De doença mental.
So it's a very big universe to talk about mental health.
Nós não temos apenas uma pesquisa, a gente tem um universo.
So we don't have a like one idea. It's like our concept. It's a whole universe. So we can
É isso. Obrigado.
The mental health crisis carries an immense and growing cost today, impacting not just individual well-being, but also economy, productivity, healthcare system, and social cohesion. Depression and anxiety alone are estimated to cost the global economy about $1 trillion each year, and broader estimates suggest that the mental health conditions could cost the global economy up to $6 trillion annually by 2030, both in terms of direct care, but also indirect costs related to unemployment and reduced productivity. And my next question will be for the Rinpoche. From a Buddhist perspective, what are the root causes of suffering?
Good morning. Good morning. Tatin du train. Then pepe. Sebes chobu pomotang misako master ko. Samala shukak. Samstahi denetang welcomes you.
Yeah, dear friends, I welcome you all from my heart, especially the Brazilian chief and master, Tashidelek, as we say in Tibetan.
Tatin du drink tap ningita. Tani shirap sondon jome. Ta simk kangata dungar sayatang. Simk kangata dungar te senne. Tani nuchin jipin te shibdetung yak. Tatalem dra. Jugiti toni zerem jenduk. And the toy COVID-19 tang. Tunchi jiang kia roba sinking yonsu. Nyamrio ngang fin yonsu zobat. Tuji chies yun.
Yeah, so I would like to explain the cause of mental problems in the inability or lack of knowledge of about combining these two main principles in our Buddhist view that are the method, that is compassion, and the insight, that is the understanding of reality. These two in union solve all problems. If they are not in union, then we get, among many others, the mental problems. So I thank all of you, especially the organizers of this program, to give me the chance to say a little bit about this.
Tatin du chulo tamala. Ne kujaka chimpong news. Dung roa mi tamate. Luta semi bundua tamate. Dewan de pata. Dunghamando te tam kigurus. Jumsin telatin tam chulung ramak. Tappen lamkaton shibdetun news.
I myself have a great respect for all religious traditions. I believe that since living beings all have a body and a mind, and everything they are seeking to achieve is bodily well-being and mental health or happiness on these two levels. And I think that all religious traditions try to offer methods to achieve that for the beings.
Tat jumsin telatin ngarang nangba ke jinjoki yenzang. Tani nangba ke te tadup samapomtang tome. Shuruyins.
Since I'm a Buddhist, I will explain that then in my terms, in my terminology.
Ten du nangba sayate ngaso. Sosu nangba sanjeba sayate. Sem ke zanga, sem ke rangjin. O sem te sangje le mengzing yores.
We as Buddhists try to achieve a purity of our mind, and this nature, this pure nature of the mind, we say is the Buddha, is Buddhahood.
다 남바 산지바 테케 따와테 우리 지얼 팀은 드레븐 주야 데 따와 텐종던 텐데 따와 텐종던 텐데 인자 큐바텔라 체와 마지다 체와테 진 저트 머게와 인자 소소롬 너도 강가다 동하드 연구를
The view of the Buddhist philosophy is that of cause and effect, of interconnectedness of everything. And from an understanding of this view, there comes the conduct or behavior that is one of non-harming or non-violence, because we see that we cannot treat others in ways we don't want to be treated ourselves.
다 대인디 남박 산지게 취공지를 예동도 송이르스 대 참만 이문근이 보르소 대 참만 노르디가나 뉴제 참마 미다바란시 되니 미다바데 인장 되니 준비에도 로아메바 되니 당 남박 조데 데르스
We also say that the Buddha actually taught 84,000 sections of teachings, and they are so manifold because beings' minds are so manifold. We all have these various mental afflictions or mental poisons, and these manifold teachings were given as antidotes to them, to heal them. And these many teachings can be subsumed in the essential statement that all conditioned phenomena are impermanent and subject to change, and that from that comes the infallible principle of karma, cause and effect.
다 대인디 겹당 르당 셈니요 르크 나차다 강아 동하세야라 멘당 캅당 다시 앞주다 탐나초요레스 남번 은지도 추스야 더 셈트 조치다나 셈트 시드투는 어데리 데르메징스
We believe that for these two levels of body and mind, there are, for the physical level, also physical methods of healing, like medicines, pills, injections, vaccinations, and so forth. But for the mind, we use the Buddha's teaching, the Dharma, that we consider this to be the medicine for the mind.
다 대인디 멘달라 남바 강아 당동하 세야 벨라 되니 탑 닌게다 시랍니 송던주 탑시 야마다오 어디 토메 되니 디 강아도 버스베스
And to come back to the where we began, this practice of the Dharma consists in uniting these two aspects of the method of compassion and the insight into what reality actually is. If we manage to achieve that union, we will achieve mental healing.
데 탑 닌게 되게 인나 구자단 쳔통 인핑게 삼노테요나 되니 다 지반지바 쳔보드마 총으로레스 다 대단한 볼라 대가 삼몬데 단다가사기 인게 지스랑 마임바 시랍데 따제 끼고레스 되니 손도면 등다고 와서
And the more compassionate we are, the more we develop this method of compassion and are respectful to others and value others, the more our fixation on ourselves, our ego, will diminish, our fixation and clinging to that. And this should happen in a way that is not just mere compassion in a sort of a blind faith, but it always has to be accompanied with that insight. So that we always have an understanding of why we're actually doing this and are grounded in insight.
다 대지 소수 탔다 람텔라 셈바 무슨 도보다 되니 강아지 마임바 셈바 야침부 거양부 어셈데 대시 대야침부 거양부 그 지보 마임바 되니 내가 가래나 pen 야침부 거양부들라 남관나지 되니 되니 내가 그지 맞아 마임바 땡사부 야침 유는 뭐 지란 소거다 로 니동 숨지 파도 자기요다 될래 타랑나 단다 그 자기용데 ям소나이 그 땡사 파 인juk Jun Kotak. Shirap.
Yeah, so that wisdom or insight aspect is that we are not narrowing down our mind, but really make use of its huge potential, widen the mind, try to develop a spacious and open mind. Yeah, space is the image here for our minds, so that we can really analyze things to their depth or into their depth. Like when we don't pay attention to just the superficial waves of the ocean, but go to its bottom, where to find the core of things. That is like this inside aspect.
Tan Dordina, Tap Ningita, Shirap, Yamada, Sondan Jubotoni, Tenis Henkangata, Donata Sayata, Social Semganga does Nambak send the Pumbo Lutu Yopo and Abi, Tenis Social Semganga Dohasene, Dike, Toraka, Nibate Latin, Teni Lukanga Suyata, Grana Yim Horiota, Dinzana Shibdi, Jumtuak, Rivata Mona Shuin, Tamon Pushtele to Jichis.
Yeah, so in short, if we manage to unite these aspects of method and insight, compassion and understanding of reality, then our mind will be in balance. We won't have mental problems, and we say body and speech are the servants to the mind. That is the boss. So when mind is in balance, body and speech will act accordingly, and we will carry this out into the world, make this capacity unfold. And so that is my hope and my aspiration, to influence also the environment and the world around us positively.
Thank you. Thank you, Rinpoche. I think this segues really well into the research by Dr. Lisa Miller. Lisa, your research shows that spirituality is an innate human capacity, just as Rinpoche said that the Buddha was within, and that's one of the teachings of the Buddha. Tell the audience, what does the science tell us now about the role of spirituality in terms of mental health and mental resilience?
So as was said so beautifully, hello, it's wonderful to see you. Select. As was said so beautifully, both by the chief and the Rinpoche, whether it is a connection with divine or the true nature of reality, we are built to see into the deeper nature of life. We are built to see into the divine presence in and through all life. There are three ways that we've held up a lens so that science can mirror that which has been known for thousands of years by spiritual knowledge across humanity, across our many expressions of pluralism, spiritual pluralism. The first lens is we can use a twin study. We can look to see whether any human capacity is inborn versus environmentally formed. So you all being very intelligent people here were born intelligent people. Intelligence is 2/3 inborn, 1/3 formed. Temperament is half inborn, half environmentally formed. The capacity through which we connect with the divine and see into the nature of reality is in us, but it is 1/3 inborn. 1/3 inborn. Every one of us is born with this gift, this birthright, but 2/3 cultivated. Means that our work in meditation, in right action and service, how we treat fellow living beings and plants, all weigh in to shape our natural gift of spiritual awareness. The second lens is that of an MRI study. And indeed, whether I am Buddhist or of a rich, ancient Brazilian Amazon tradition, or Jewish or Hindu or Muslim or Catholic, there is one spiritual brain, and we all have it. There is one core capacity in every human being, and it is marked by 3 circuits. The capacity to feel and know love in all life. It is the bonding network, just as the bonding network was online when we were held in our parents' or grandparents' arms. The bonding network allows us to feel and know that there is love written into life. There is an attention network through which we move from what do I want and how am I going to get it and why did I not get what I want, a bowling alley, dorsal to ventral attention, where we see a much bigger arena of life and guidance pops. And the third circuit that we all have is the parietal, puts in and out hard boundaries. So we know that we're exquisitely unique and diverse and from different GPS coordinates. And yet at the same time, we are a point, we are a wave. There's one family of life, one unit of reality. We are loved and held, we are guided, and we are never alone. This has been known through time, and now the lens of science can bear witness. And the third science offers as a mirror is that when we do embrace this natural capacity, we all share one spiritual brain, one portal to one spiritual reality. We are 80% less likely to become addicted. We are, to the epidemic facing Gen Z all over the world, 82% less likely to take our life. There's nothing 1/3 as protective against the epidemic of suicide on Earth as a strong spiritual awareness. We are less likely to take risks and we are more loving to one another. This is our birthright, and it's been known through time. Science can now honor with great respect.
Nurali, as the founder of Spark of Light, dedicated to guiding individuals through the ultimate transformation, a journey of healing, awakening, and alignment with universal consciousness, on your website, I quote, "The mind, when aligned with higher consciousness, becomes a powerful instrument of creation and wisdom." Can you perhaps talk about why you have decided to dedicate to contribute to this cause?
Sure. I want to say thank you for all your speeches before. This is, very resonates with all what I'm doing as well. As my name is Nurali. It's an honor to be here. Founder of Spark of Light, a transformational portal and spiritual community dedicated to the evolution of human consciousness. Our collective serves as a space for healing generational trauma and inherited belief systems, releasing outdated mental, emotional programs, and reconnecting humans to their spiritual essence. At its core, the Spark of Light is built on the understanding that we are spiritual beings having a human experience. I also founded Mental Health Ventures. It's a mission-driven fund dedicated to improving human health across mind, body, and spirit. The fund invests in plant-based and nature-inspired medicines and technologies that promote holistic and regenerative wellness. And my journey, as you asked, probably started with one choice that I made to stop drinking alcohol, and more focus on sports and triathlon, and focus on Ironman, and then this universe just guided me into this retreat with plant medicines that really transformed my life and healed a lot of traumas, a lot that I was holding me back. And I started the spiritual journey afterwards. Hiked a lot of mountains, went to Kailash, and it just was fascinating to me, this new world, and it just led me to understand that how healing is important in our world, and that's why I founded the Spark of Light, a community focused on healing and transformations, and finding your higher self, connecting with your soul, because we're a soul in the first place. Yes, please join our community.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. By the way, apparently this year is the year to go to Kailash. I don't know if Rinpoche would agree. That's what I heard. Yes, with you, Rinpoche. Thank you. Going back to the chief, I know we don't have too much time. We only have half an hour left. Chief, can you talk about how the indigenous stewardship of the land, of the Pachamama, function as a form of collective mental and spiritual healing?
Isso fato se guarda jonas da pure se guarda te a cavoi. Tem papel tudo da saúde da minha comunidade. Quanto à comunidade junto, né? Mas também aí sempre me diz que eles precisam guardar até a sociedade. Não berrando então qual é a relação disso, né? Que merda.
Eu não, quando eu fiz minha primeira fala, não me identifiquei, né? Eu venho de uma família tradicional de chefe do meu povo, Yawanawá.
When I started beginning, I didn't mention that I come from a lineage of leaders of my people.
E todos nossos líderes, todos nossos chefes são lideranças espirituais, são os curandeiros, são os pajés.
And all of our leaders, our chiefs, are spiritual leaders as well. They are healers and like what you call shamans.
Então, fui criado com meus avós,
And I was raised with my grandparents
desde criança.
since I was a little kid.
E para mim, como eu era o sucessor, para me aprender como cuidar do meu povo.
Since I was to be the successor, the next chief, I was learning how to look after my people.
Não é? E nesses últimos 25 anos, eu dedico a minha vida, nosso mundo espiritual, né? Sou um dos curandeiros do meu povo.
And especially in the past 25 years, I have dedicated my life to our spiritual world, our spiritual practice. And so I became a healer, so I had to look after my people.
Porque nós vivemos uma família.
We live as a family.
Primeiro, nós temos que estar alinhado à nossa família,
So for us, the first thing is to have an alignment within our family,
com nossos pais,
with our parents,
com nossa esposa,
or with our wife,
com nossos filhos.
our children.
Se nós estamos em harmonia entre a família,
If we have harmony within the family,
nós estamos fortes.
we're strong.
Superamos qualquer tipo de energia negativa.
We can go, we can face any kind of negative energy.
Porque dentro do nosso povo nós compartilhamos tudo.
Because among our people, we share everything.
Quando buscamos comida, convidamos todos para comer.
When we find food, we invite everybody to eat,
Todo mundo está feliz.
and everybody's happy.
Se não dá para todo mundo,
And if it's not enough for everybody,
todo o povo sabe que a comida não dá.
all the people knows that there's not enough food.
Então há uma força coletiva para buscar mais para todos.
So there comes a collective force to find more food for everybody.
Esse é cura.
And this is healing.
Quando tem alguém doente,
When somebody's sick,
vamos na floresta.
we go into the forest.
Todos os líderes espirituais,
All the spiritual leaders,
vamos tratar dele.
and we come and do our work.
Não somente com as plantas,
Not only with the plants,
mas com amor,
but with our love,
com respeito,
with our respect,
com solidariedade.
with our solidarity.
Ao contrário
And then, on the other hand, in the country,
do Ocidente.
it's very very different than from the West.
Você come sozinho,
You eat alone.
você não, quando tu está doente, não tem alguém lá cuidando,
When you're sick, you're alone.
não tem amor,
There's no love.
não tem carinho,
There's no care.
não tem compaixão.
There's no compassion.
tem que recorrer à medicina,
And then you have to
os medicamentos,
go find these drugs,
completamente isolado.
completely isolated.
Esse ele vai ficar mais doente mentalmente.
So person becomes like mental health. The mental issues become more difficult.
Eu estou falando da nossa própria experiência
So I'm talking about our own experience
no nosso próprio mundo.
from our world.
E para concluir,
And to finish,
nós, Yawanawá,
we Yawanawa,
entendemos que nós estamos vivendo um novo ciclo da humanidade.
we understand that we're living in a new cycle, a new time for humanity.
E esse novo tempo da humanidade
And this new time for humanity
é espiritual.
is a spiritual time.
Quem está desconectado com a espiritualidade
Whoever's not connected with the spiritual
é que tem esses problemas mentais.
will have these mental issues, with mental problems that you're talking.
É como fosse o espírito está longe do corpo.
It's like the spirit is far from the body, separated from the body.
O espírito tem que estar dentro do corpo.
But the spirit needs to be inside the body.
Então esse tempo é o tempo espiritual.
So this time is a spiritual time.
Todos vão ter que seguir esse caminho.
Everybody must follow some.
Ou você vem pelo amor ou você vem pela dor.
You will get there through love, or you will get there through pain.
Não tem outra alternativa.
There's no other chance.
E digo mais,
And I say further,
esse tempo
at this time,
que tem como o protagonismo nesse novo ciclo da humanidade
this new cycle for humanity, the main role, the main protagonic role
o feminino,
is the feminine,
a energia feminina,
and feminine energy,
físico e espiritual.
physically, women, and spiritually.
Esse é o mundo do Yawanawá atual.
And this is what the Yawanawa people are living at now.
Obrigado.
Rinpoche, I was wondering if you could introduce to us the concept of bodhicitta, the practical application of wellness, well-being in the Tibetan teachings.
This is the age. Hola, Soko. Kape ata namba sanji bala tar mongo yores. Sitang kena tarang koryok de kong sons. Namba kena tani marai chulok semji koryok di yetana tsebamasis. Sitama tenyong tenderes. Tara chuo sa me long yongwa yetana sosu lutal tin jerde yores. Chiktir. Iba tela de taras 아 뉴몬바 망보 요리 때 노르드나 티나네 파워 사바 나요. 배나 소주야 단 창토야 데 소토야 데 산지게 이동가비 호네. 다데 카직도 빵요 말 때다 내가 쪼게 진신인데 소베도 줘. 아 빵고래 세잡고래 에스야. 다난 딩창도 출래나. 인 모다 다키나. 다 창콩 조 말아. 전도 되나. 데리. 되니다 찍더라. 삼바다 흥기를 걸어. Tanda member channels and member that you how to that in Abatadola
Okay. So yeah, there are many approaches in the Buddhist traditions, and as we heard, I also really agree with the integration of the environment, because in this view of not harming, it has these four aspects of not harming other beings, not harming on a ideological level of religious conflict and so forth, no harm to to other beings like animals, and the fourth is not harming, doing harm to the environment. These are the ways on which we practice non-violence and non-harming, and so everything that helps. Also, I can really connect with what Nurali said on stopping to drink alcohol. It is one important point, of course, not that we have to give it up completely, but regulate this is just really so helpful to make progress and to develop ourselves. It is very easy to understand. One cannot drink and drive, for example, all these things. This just doesn't work. And then on the bodhicitta concept.
다 대인들 남부 주나라 면바 산쪽 선반 유바 산쪽 셈신 니요 다 대는 아주 자리에다 강무슬레 간주야 zondan 대진스 대인들 면바 셈세야데 당아주 셈세야데 요리시나 될 이었다 카도 좀 땡야 요 말이스 요 말이스는 참아 셈그죠 요리스 폰데니까 참 셈그죠 대디 디 셈데 다 낭바당 파샤소나 셈드 닝네 요레스 노소파간 레발네 요레스 도르드는 아주 그 은진사데 니가데 되게 요레스 셈그 낭드 칼라사사 나면야 볼로도데 닝 그니 레홍다오데 레가시사데 레바 단 도르드는 셈그 마찹서 요마 두고 돈나리 두고라나 요레 드니 강한 트나 깜바가와 나나타나 찹데 요레스 셈데야
And this concept of bodhicitta is the wish to attain Buddhahood for the sake of others, and it has these two aspects of aspiring and the engaged or applied. The first is just like everything, we make a plan to do something, we have just the wish, and then the second aspect of application is putting it into practice, actually, this supreme intention. And what we talk about the mind is that it begins with the intention. Everything follows our inner intentions later. As we said, it's the leader where speech and mind follow. And so we create ourselves or project these our world of experience. We speak of samsara and nirvana. It can be one or the other, depending on our mind. And one also interesting thing is that we always think that the main abode of the mind within our body is the heart, whereas in Western culture we usually point to the head, to the brain, when we say I need to think or something like that, talk about mental things. I would say the home of the mind is really the heart, but the office maybe is the brain only. But they need to work together, of course, and basically the mind can go anywhere where we put our attention, or what is important in the moment. When we're hungry, it's mostly in the stomach and so on. So this is how we understand the mind and its pliancy.
다 멤버셈 데라 장바가토 잠바 데와타 덴두그 잠바시 데차말 고이 데 잠바 동하당 사말 고요모 데 자반데가 닝게세야 데 셈그 통시고 마초 똥네 셈지진 그 강가다 동하데 퐁데 철레네 데니 펠파로바시야 삼는 콜야 온주 kunses 부레스 동하탄도 닝게 데니 데와타 치포데 니마치 다와치로 팽호마 데 타바 고요레스 데 만다와크 데니 가와 스타파 요나 카바 데와 루데오 심바 치포요 다 벤디티 삼바다 힘께 참말에 요래때 제진 rada 다 섬치생이 돼서 요래 데 람징게 요래때 벤디테 야제라 공파 야제탄 공파라 땅네 데니 자탄 니바 아뇽스 차랑미바 따뇽스 데 체메바 예데 데리 데 따뇽스야 그 토네 그니 자축 셈세야도 자축 셈들라 니우마 and
the way we reach at this perfection of our intention into this bodhicitta, supreme mind of bodhicitta, is by practicing the four so-called immeasurable mindsets. The first is we all want to have happiness. So that is our definition of love. The first immeasurable mindset is love or friendliness or loving kindness. The wish that others have this happiness. We develop this immeasurably. This is followed by the mental development of compassion, which is by definition the wish that others are free from suffering. No one wants suffering and pain, so we cultivate this mindset immeasurably, compassion, and then some temporary joy and happiness. Since these are not enough, we want to see beings in constant happiness. This is how we cultivate joy. This is our definition of joy, seeing rejoicing in the happiness of others and wanting them to never be separated from that. Being in a constant, permanent, lasting state of happiness. That is how we cultivate joy. The third immeasurable mindset. And then to develop all these in an immeasurable way, we cannot be partial. We cannot say, I want this only for the ones that I like, and I don't want the ones that I don't like to have happiness and be free from suffering. So we need to fourthly develop impartiality or even-mindedness, equanimity. And with these four mindsets developed immeasurably, we culminate in this supreme mindset of bodhicitta.
다 members 야때 샘그톤 차기 드디어 다 샘그톤이 레와탄 드파 차지 찍고 많이 봐 우스 라리도 벨은 주파들 파로트 심박 독스 데디 우스 메강아다 동하유니테솔라 짐바토 데야트라와 사그테 많이 봐 시라고 따진지 텔 가레 고온도 가레 프렌도 네갑던 타토 참아라 따진지나 짐바토나 데니 담배 추록 던지티 물론니가라 참다 지게 대만가바데 야보 소야 추첨 데니 강아다 zupa 롭장 레가 가레세나 zupa 제와 참아 zupa 메나 라도 데인데 zupa 고야다 데니 레가 가레세나 연데 쪼와고 소소 가와던 쪼와 데요나 깔레히다요 데인데 쫀드 문투 나네시 데데 소소 제버드 토프 데니 가데이나 루그나나 셈데 데니 나 르루다 시와 대와요나 차리미요 가레세나 사보 잘마도 셈 촉송야다 스트레스 다셈 충충 던다 차소나 데니 비 따바 베요마 에스 가두나 셈데 시와 데니 디레가 살마 용수 조바들 시랍 그 따지 지 타심바심데 데세네데 우스 주박 데니 자주 그셈
Yeah, so far these have been only mental states. They benefit ourselves, but not others so much. So we come to the applied part of it, the engaged bodhicitta, and that consists in the so-called 6 perfections. The first of which is that of generosity or giving, which is not thoughtless, mindless giving, but only giving that which is really of benefit after analysis with insight and wisdom. And likewise, then second, the perfection of a good ethical conduct. There are many rules of conduct within Buddhism. Keeping to them, upholding them is our morality, is the second perfection. And then the third is patience. We need patience and tolerance, endurance of difficulties in every interaction with everyone. Otherwise, we won't succeed. So patience is the third perfection. The fourth is then diligence and enthusiasm in all our activities. Energetic enthusiasm, and we have to perfect that also. Fifth then is mental stability or concentration. If we are not grounded in our mind, cannot focus, but are unstable, we stress out easily and also will not achieve our aims. And so concentration is the fifth perfection, and the sixth is that of insight. So the ability to really discern one from the other, being able to make the right decisions and penetrating into what is the core of things. This is how we apply this mindset through the 6 perfections.
하티간레 bordigana chachok semsia sixovus. Danji sansi da kinji lo chamala yorete cele garsona kangata roda or ranginika kangata. Then the chamalan ranyam kisama hoa metang tondo sentin churo koryok yonso dopang ranyam kisama poyata yimpin chop siditinis rangla kare gawana yi yina te devata mandupa domhare te chipai yimpin te santo. Ta take sem ke thoni tini leka chama sai sena tini ranyam ke thoni leka chama sena ta shipte ta chamtumbe je so koryo chama tu tu yus this sem ke gores anewa.
We can also have it explain it very quickly through the two syllables of the word in Tibetan. It's jang chup sem. So the chan means to purify and refers to our fixation on the ego and the self. Purifying means to diminish it. We all have it. We all have to deal with it. But the more we manage to diminish it, we'll be able to also. Then the second syllable is chupa is to unfold and expand. Activity to benefit others, to relate with others, to connect with others. The smaller our ego clinging has become, the better we'll get in expanding and reaching out to others, our abilities and activities. And I think, that is the way we should relate to ourselves and the environment in a healing way.
Nurali, I'm going to go to you next before I'm going to ask Dr. Lisa Miller to tie this all up. As mentioned, you run a mental health fund to improve the human health across mind, body, and spirit. Some of your portfolio companies operate at the intersection of neuroscience, technology, and psychedelics or plant medicine. Can you talk a little bit about the different technologies that you're seeing in the brain health and mental health space?
Love you use the word technologies as we have our own definition of what that means in our space. So we invest in traditional technologies, like you would imagine companies such as Satya, the Reality Center, which we actually brought with us. It's a digital psychedelic experience that has the effect of the psychedelic journey, but without the subtles. And it's using a multi-sensory immersive experience that using light, sound, vibrations, and binaural beats. It also takes your vocal analysis, then converts it into a binaural beat that is tuned to your optimal frequency, then serves as a sound-guided meditation, synchronized with vibrations to bring you into a deeper state of alignment. This tech allows us to do work in the veteran advocacies and even with active service members who all need the same reset without access to plant-based and psychedelic alternatives. We also see our mind and the plant medicine kingdom as intelligent technologies themselves, and have been fortunate to also have founded and invested in companies like Mantra Bioscience that are pushing the envelope with legal access and distribution to these medicines, specifically psilocybin to start in Czech Republic. We're working closely with the newly appointed drug czar, with the Prime Minister in Czech Republic, and are aiming to be one of the first licensed state-of-the-art facilities in the Czech Republic and the greater EU.
Thank you. Thank you, Nurali. Dr. Lisa Miller, I think we heard from the chief that the next era, or this era, is going to be feminine and feminine energy. Not the gender, but the energy. So as the founder of the Spirituality Body Mind Institute, what is your opinion? What does a holistic mental health, mental well-being model look like?
As we awaken spiritually, and this is all of ours. There's no one who's left out. There is no one who's not spiritual. As we awaken spiritually through the lens of science, the more we practice meditation and prayer, the more we love one another, service, right action, the more we connect and listen to plants and care for nature and fellow living beings, the animals, we strengthen our spiritual awareness and we give off a wavelength. We start to use our brain differently. We give off a wavelength called high amplitude alpha, off the back of the head posteriorly. High amplitude alpha, given off by your spiritually engaged brain, is the same wavelength that goes by another name in another field. It is Schumann's resonance, the constituent wavelength of nature from the Earth's crust up 1 mile, which means that your spiritually engaged brain vibrates with the frequency of all life. The experience of the unitive reality is mirrored by the unitive wavelength, what I call sacred consciousness, whether it is talking to and receiving knowledge from plants, whether it is speaking to fellow living beings or source, her, him, their self. Schumann's resonance, the constituent wavelength of all life, and the spiritually engaged brain vibrate at the same wavelength. What does that mean? That means that the oneness, the reality of oneness, is a oneness we are built to perceive and now. And relational spirituality, as told through compassion, engages the same neurocorrelates as our relationship with the transcendent. Transcendence, the higher power, the source. I've never heard anyone argue for two sources of all life. This we share. One source of all life. The way that we connect with source through our brain is the same way that we see source, our higher power, in one another. Whether you are my sister and brother from a different GPS coordinate, or whether you are my sister and brother on 4 or winged or in a plant. And this is what I think whole healing is. We are there. We are so close. Yes, we have a choice. It's by pain or by spiritual awareness. But here's the very good news, which is our brain is built to awaken through suffering. When you look at people like yourselves who are very spiritually aware today, we in this room are 2.5 times more likely to have gotten here through the road of trials, through addiction, through depression. 250% more likely to have suffered to awaken. And once this capacity is strengthened and formed, it brings us into contact with all life, and we're 95% protected against a subsequent deep depression, as measured by cortical thickness across the regions of the awakened brain, which means your spiritual path is neuroprotective for you, and your spiritual path is neuroprotective for all living beings. Suffering is the knock at the door to awakening, and that is how we are built, individually, and I'm so grateful to say collectively, because now at the threshold, it is time to cross.
Thank you so much. Thank you. We don't have much time left. Professionally, we don't have time to take any questions, but I would just like to summarize the panel. We heard from the chief that healing is spiritual. And we also heard from Dr. Lisa Miller, thank goodness, because spirituality is an innate capacity built in humans. It's 1/3 inborn and then 2/3 cultivated. We could cultivate it through bodhicitta, or we could, there are different modalities that we could access through plant medicine or neurotechnology. If you're interested to awaken yourself, please see Nurali after the panel. Before we end this panel, I would like to thank everybody for being here. I would also before we end it, I would like to give Rinpoche the opportunity to give us a chant, maybe just 1 minute, very quickly. I personally prefer the Bring Tara, but you can do whatever you choose. I don't want to influence you. But I just want to summarize and say that healing is not just individual, but it's spiritual, planetary, it's collective, and it's holistic. Thank you very much.
뭐는 뭐야?
Okay.
네 좀.
Love levels it does do God. Oh,
전예의 비행진 놀고 몰람 뒤에서 마세라 강도 정들고 만종에 제호안들라는데 한조섬 조름 먼제 마제 바람 제저라제 제바면 밤에 바야 공내 공담 파와요. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Obrigado. Gracias.
Thank you. Thank you for being here and thank you for the panel.